Hey Wargamers, today I want to talk about the models associated with the new Genestealer Cult release coming up and what that tells us about how GW might be going about their future releases. Before I do that though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, hit subscribe. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming content. Okay, so with the new Genestealer Cult Codex coming out, we will finally have a more fleshed out line of Genestealer Cult models, including some things that we've known about for a while, like the bikes and the ATV. Those are things that we've known about for a while and look super cool. They have a very Mad Max feel to them, and I can't wait to see them on the tabletop. But there are also some additional releases that we are just starting to get a better grasp on. We saw a leak of the Keller Morph a few months ago, a while ago actually. I think it was one of the potato camera early releases, was the Keller Morph Gunslinger, and now we know that that is going to be part of a Kill Team expansion for Genestealer Cults. And in addition to that, we have a model that I think came completely out of nowhere. I don't know, I didn't see anything about this before, but the Achilles Ridge Runner, which is amazing looking. If this model doesn't sell you on Genestealer Cults, I don't know what will. It's basically like a super cool dune buggy mixed with a, warthog from Halo mixed with like a Dodge Charger or something like that. I think it looks super awesome, and I can't wait to see that on the tabletop especially. So, there's a bunch of different models that are coming out with this, and I think they tell us a little bit about how GW is going to approach model releases in the future. So starting with the Keller Morph, this is something that is a model that's coming alongside a codex, but is not something that's being released on its own, at least not yet. It seems like it's going to be something exclusive to the Kill Team box set. In fact, if you look at the Kill Team box set description, it says that it's an exclusive model to that box. So if that's the case, this is something new. GW hasn't done this exactly before. So like with Blackstone Fortress, we had Dayak Grek, we had all the explorers, and they were all their own models, but they were not being released simultaneously alongside a codex. They were not part of a codex. They were models that were produced and then rules were released alongside them for use in 40k. The Keller Morph is something different, where this is a model that is only available in the Kill Team box as far as I can see. But it's still part of the codex. It's still part of the Genestealer Cult release. And so they are tapping into multiple game systems for this release and multiple different packaging options for this release, which is something new and I think is potentially alarming, right? I don't want to have to buy the whole Kill Team box just to get one Keller Morph in my army, and presumably they're going to have multiple Keller Morphs. It doesn't seem like, being a Keller Morph is going to be something that's a 0-1 unique choice or anything like that. It doesn't have a name or anything like that that would suggest that. So if we're looking to field multiple Keller Morphs in a Genestealer Cult army, we're going to have to buy multiple box set or go to eBay or, do something else. And that is, expensive, frankly, and inconvenient. So I would expect that the Keller Morph will be available independently at some point, but for now, at least, it's in the Kill Team box, which is, sneaky on GW's part, but also problematic if you're looking to acquire a lot of them early on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more of this multi-system release pattern where, for the next codex, maybe it's Ynnari. Maybe Ynnari get a new codex and a whole suite of new models. Maybe alongside that release, they get their own Kill Team box, and lo and behold, there's a special model that you can only get in that one Kill Team box. So I'm not going to be surprised if we keep seeing this. It's not the end of the world. It's not a huge obstruction because, again, you can have access to that model one way or the other. And the rest of the box set does seem useful, especially if you're just getting into Genestealer Cults. But that's very different than having a box set that is just the model that you want. So I want to know what you guys think of that. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about that. The other big thing about the Genestealer Cult release is the way that they are including diversity into the model line. And of course, Genestealer Cults, there's going to be a lot of diversity because, mutants. But in addition to that, we also have some very clearly pronounced female figures. And this actually goes along too with the new Commissar model that is, happens to be female and looks fantastic. Both that new Commissar and these new Genestealer Cult models, both on the Ridge Runner and then also some of the characters for Genestealer Cults that are coming out, are female, and they basically approach this from a sculpting perspective in a way that's completely different than it would have been addressed 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, they didn't have the technology to sculpt a convincingly female figure, and so they relied on easy visual cues, primarily breasts, to convey that a model was female. Now, today, there's a much better technology for sculpting and for producing models, and they don't have to rely on those as heavily. That's why we can have models that are clearly female, but not have those, very obvious signs of gender, which I think is good for lots of different reasons. But, regardless of what reason you choose, it just looks good. Right? It just looks cool, and it's a fantastic sculpt. One of the things I thought that was surprising about the way that Games Workshop approached Sisters of Battle is that they were very clear at one point in the past that part of the reason that they haven't been able to do plastic sisters for a while was because the technology wasn't there. They had such a hard time actually doing the sculpts, particularly for the hair, that they didn't feel like they could do a just service when producing a new sisters line. But now the technology is there, and we can see that technology employed in every model that they produce, but especially when we're looking at the subtleties that make a model distinctly feminine and yet not cartoonish. So I think that's fantastic, and you can see that in the special characters and in the Ridge Runner that we have these. So I think this suggests that Games Workshop will be working in subtly feminine models throughout the line where they can. Does this mean that we're going to see female Space Marines? Probably not. I don't think that's going to happen. We have that in Age of Sigmar, as the Sigmarines counterparts. There are female models there, but I don't think Games Workshop is going to, necessarily incorporate them in every line, right? We're probably not going to see female Space Marines. We're probably not going to see female Tau, but, hey, maybe we will. Maybe, here's the thing about female Tau, right? Is they look exactly the same as male Tau. So we probably have about 50% female Tau already. We just don't know it. But, we're probably not going to see, random female characters wherever. They're going to be in places where it makes sense. I think Genestealer Cults is a great example of that. You can expect that there would be female Genestealer Cultists, and we have that here, and they look fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. I love it when we can have multiple axis of variability in our armies, and this is just one more that Games Workshop is proving that they can do and do well. So very exciting. Those are the kind of the two things of the Genestealer Cults that I think is going to apply to all the army releases going forward. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, this video is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining our community over there as well. Special thanks to No Excuses Panda, Scott Heater, Tao Oswald, Nick Steele, Jared Egler, Scott J. Smith, Stephen Cohen, Brian Mann, Jake Johnson, Eric Jackson, Benjamin, RP, Julian Peck, Andy M. Young, Peter Benjamin Parker, and Giovanni DiMaggio.